Dr. Archer Crosley, and welcome to Real World Pediatrics. Today I'm going to talk about RFK and vaccines. This is part two. I spoke in a prior video about his psychology and why he believes what he believes. And now I want to talk about something else. Even though RFK is wrong on vaccines being a cause of autism, he's right to stick it to Congress and the medical profession. Unfortunately, he's right for the wrong reasons. The medical profession needs shaking up. It needs to be attacked. Now, it doesn't need to be attacked for vaccine safety. It needs to be attacked because of its conformity. There's far too much conformity in the medical profession. There's too much going along between the medical profession and the government. Doctors cannot be politicians, and doctors must always stick with the science. When I say science, I mean real science, not the fake science that comes from government apologists who are terrified of losing their federal grant money. Now, unfortunately, politics entered the world of science, and that's not a good thing. When it comes to COVID-19, too many doctors went along immediately without asking questions. Yes, there were brave ones who did stand up, but what happened to those physicians? We can name a few. There were the two California doctors, Dr. Daniel Erickson and Dr. Artin Masihi. There was a group out in Washington headed by Simone Gold. There was Pierre Corey, and there were many more. What were many of these doctors stating? They were essentially stating that we should stop, take a second look, ask questions, look at things. And what happened to them? They were persecuted by medical boards. They were gone after. Now, there's something wrong there. Science is about skepticism. Skeptics shouldn't be crucified. They should be welcomed. And these doctors were not entirely wrong about COVID-19. Yes, they got some things wrong, but they also got a lot right. And don't forget that the establishment got things wrong also. Both Lancet and the New England Journal of Medicine had to retract an article. Did any medical board go after them? No. No, I don't want to get into all of it because I know it's a toxic issue. People get really angry when talking about COVID-19. I know I spent 2 to 3 years in a perpetual state of anger. I don't want to go through that again. And I'm sure you don't want to go through that again. That's not the purpose of this talk here. What I'm talking about is that the medical profession has too many people who go along just to get along. Now, this is reinforced by the huge amount of grant money that's doled out by the government to major institutions, such as the Mayo Clinic. Now, one of the contributors to a comment section on an internet site that I frequented during the pandemic, on one particular occasion, very casually commented that he was going to trust the Mayo Clinic. And my personal thought at the time was, are you sure about that, Captain? The Mayo Clinic gets a lot of money from the federal government. You don't think that might influence their thinking, do you? Okay, with that stated, much of the conformity in the medical profession is necessary. The conformity comes about because you need doctors to adhere to a standard of care in order to get people well. You can't have too many loose cannons in the medical profession. People might die. At the same time, we can't have doctors adhering to political nonsense and policies that politicians might construct for any number of reasons. That could be equally dangerous to patients. Now, here are some facts that should amaze you. They amazed me when I first read them. Now, during the reign of the Third Reich in Nazi Germany, 50% of physicians joined the Nazi Party. And as you know, the Nazi Party had a lot of nutty policies. Now, this is what Google AI has to say. During the Nazi era, nearly half of all German physicians became members of the Nazi Party. Half. A proportion significantly higher than that of the general population. Various sources cite percentages ranging from 45% to over 50%. Beyond party membership, German physicians also joined other Nazi organizations in disproportionate numbers. National Socialist Physicians League. By 1942, nearly half of German doctors also belonged to this league. The SA, those are the stormtroopers. 26% of physicians joined the SA. The SS, that's the Schutzstaffel. 7% of physicians joined the SS, a rate 7 times higher than the general population. Can you believe that? It's as if doctors couldn't wait to join. Now, that doesn't speak well for the medical profession. It's safe to say that the Nazi Party's policies could not have been put into place without the participation of the German physicians. What would have happened in Nazi Germany if the physicians had stood up and said, phrenology is nonsense. This race theory is nonsense. But that didn't happen. The German physicians enthusiastically supported the Nazi Party. Don't think that this can't happen again in the United States. It certainly can happen again. To a large degree, what happened under COVID-19 happened because of the overwhelming enthusiastic support for what the government was promoting about COVID-19. Many of the things that were told to us by the government and its representatives were false, and this only heightened people's suspicion of vaccines. Is it any wonder that more and more people today are resistant to getting vaccines? I'm not surprised. This could have been avoided. Now, vaccines are safe, and RFK is wrong to go after vaccines as a cause of autism. But he is totally correct in attacking the medical profession for going along too much. The medical profession should be more skeptical, and more demanding of what is taught. Our policy should not be to attack RFK and call him names, but to say something like this. Well, maybe in 200 years, we won't feel about vaccines the way we do now. Maybe someone will come up with a link between vaccines and autism using another methodology, one that we don't have now. But today is not that day. The best evidence we have today, based upon our studies and the use of statistics, indicates that there is no link at all between vaccines and autism. Thank you. Oh, and by the way, your government has made mistakes on vaccines before. Go ahead and do a search on Bernice Eddy and polio.